it's time for my 2022 TV show, Blu-ray and DVD collection video. I actually thought I already did this video in 2022, but it turns out that was actually late in 2021, so I definitely wanted to do it in 2022, and of course, I will continue to do this video every year. And honestly, I haven't really added that much more to my television show physical media collection. I have added some things, but not a lot, but I figured I would give you guys an updated video because it is a popular request. And here's what I'll do. I'll show you the collection. I'll start with each show, and then I'll give you the story of why I watched it and who led me to watch this show. I'll do my best to stay away from spoilers, but I can't promise anything. So if there's a TV show that I start talking about that you don't want to know nothing about, then I highly suggest that you stop watching the video to avoid any potential spoilers. And of course, if you're a fan of TV show, Blu-ray, and DVD collection videos, or a fan of physical media and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure you smash that like button. Share this video with anybody that you know that likes physical media, such as Blu-rays and DVDs of television shows. Sound off in the comment section what your thoughts are. Any TV shows that you may watch because of this video, any shows that you're surprised that I own, any shows that you own that you're really happy that I own, whatever you want to talk about, just make sure you leave it in the comments section. Any recommendations that you have for me, I can't promise it because I'm not very good at continuing to watch a TV show. Surprisingly enough, I'm just not very good at it. I might watch a season or two, but eventually I fall off depending on if it's a new show or an old show. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your support, and be a part of something special. Starting things off, we have The 100, Season 1, Blu-ray. The 100, Season 2, Blu-ray. The 100, Season 3, Blu-ray. The 100, Season 4, Blu-ray. The 100, Season 5, Blu-ray. And The 100, Season 6, Blu-ray. I don't own Season 7 of the show. I didn't really like Season 7. I didn't even finish watching it. Eventually, at some point, I'll get it. I just haven't got around to it. Really good show. My roommate at the time, Jamar, had recommended it to me because we were doing a Guess the TV Show theme. And he's like, you should check out The 100. And I did. And I really liked the initial first 5 seasons. It was really solid. Season 6, it has a drop-off. Some people like it, though. So you might like it, but I would probably check it out. I would say it's still in my top 20 of all time. Banshee, Season 1, Blu-ray. I hate these frickin' covers, how they do this. They slip off every time I grab them. Banshee, Season 2, Blu-ray. Banshee, Season 3, Blu-ray. And Banshee, Season 4, Blu-ray. So I shared this in my last video. The reason why I watched the TV show Banshee, I was watching Cody Leach's TV show and movie collection video a few years ago, and he had mentioned if there's one show that you're going to watch out of all these TV shows, Banshee would be the one I'd recommend. It's a really good choreographed action show with lots of awesome action, good characters, and a lot of good sex scenes to a degree, and there's more to it than that, but it's a really good show. I don't want to necessarily go into anything that might spoil things, but if you're going to check it out, check out Banshee. It's on HBO Max. It was a Cinemax show, and it's a show that went 4 seasons, and it was planned to go 4 seasons. It was not like it got canceled, so you're going to be satisfied. I think it has one of the best finales, not necessarily of one of the best finales I've ever seen out of like the 7 or 8 good finales that I have seen. So make sure you check out Banshee. Let me know what you think, and let Cody Leach know what you think. Okay, we're going to do it this way here. So I got this actually a little bit early, but we have all 6 seasons of Better Call Saul on Blu-ray. Better Call Saul is a great show. There's a few reasons why I watched Better Call Saul. Obviously, I was a fan of Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And I initially watched the first couple episodes of Better Call Saul, and it didn't really grab me. I thought it was kind of boring when it first came out, and I stopped watching it. Well, once the second half actually right when season 6 was about to start, I'm like, I got to get caught up with Better Call Saul and do reviews of it. So I did it. I finally got caught up, and I actually really love the show. After the first season, I think it gets a lot better. It's that first season's a lot of slow character development, but it's a really different show, and I love Better Call Saul. Reasons why I watched it, I would say a boss of mine, Terry, is a big reason why I watched it. Cody Leach is a big reason why I watch it. And probably Trev's Chan too, the guy that loves The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and he would always talk about Better Call Saul. So Better Call Saul, check it out, especially if you're a Breaking Bad fan. Moving along here, Beverly Hills 90210, Season 1 DVD. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 2 DVD. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 3 DVD. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 4 DVD. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 5 DVD. These things are so fucking heavy. I hate these old style DVDs. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 6 DVD. Beverly Hills 90210, Season 7 Blu-ray DVD. You know what I'm talking about. Season 8. Season 9. Yeah, see, this is much easier. And then Beverly Hills 90210, the 10th and final season. So this show, it's not a show that I would ever think that I would watch, especially at the age I watched it. I watched the show when it premiered. Reason why, I remember being in my mom's room when I was about 8 or 9 years old, because I didn't have a TV in my room at the time, or maybe it was because I had a black and white TV. I don't remember the specifics of exactly, but I was watching something, and it must have been on Fox or possibly a different channel. And after that was done, for some reason, I decided to start watching Beverly Hills 90210, and I religiously watched that show, at least for the first 7 seasons-ish. Then I kind of fell off, and then I watched most of the final season of Beverly Hills 90210. I did watch the finale, but I know for sure I haven't watched every episode of the show. I think it's a good show. My life was kind of boring, so I kind of decided to live vicariously through those characters. Nobody recommended it to me. I was 8 or 9 years old at the time, so it's just a show for some reason that I watched, and I'll talk about that more a little bit later on. Here's a popular one. The Big Bang Theory, Season 1, DVD. The Big Bang Theory, Season 2, DVD. The Big Bang Theory, Season 3, DVD. The Big Bang Theory, Season 4, DVD. The Big Bang Theory, Season 5, DVD. The Big Bang Theory, Season 6, DVD. The Big Bang Theory Season 7, Blu-ray, well, and DVD. It's the combo pack. The Big Bang Theory Season 8, Blu-ray, and Penny changed her hair in this one. The Big Bang Theory Season 9, Blu-ray. The Big Bang Theory Season 10, Blu-ray. The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Blu-ray. And last but certainly not least, The Big Bang Theory Season 12, the final season, on Blu-ray. This is a phenomenal show. It's funny. At times, it's not as good, but I'm not a big fan of Season 8. I think that's because Penny got a really short haircut, and I just didn't like it, but it was an amazing show that made me laugh a lot. Now, the reason why I watched The Big Bang Theory is because my roommate and friend at the time, Eric, would record about 8 or 9 shows a day on DVR. He would literally fill up like 10% a day, at least, on the DVR. And it's like, dude, the DVR is for both of us, not just you. You got to stop watching all these TV shows. You're definitely a couch potato. No offense to couch potatoes out there, but one day he's watching one of the shows that he had on, and he was watching The Big Bang Theory, and I happened to be out in the living room just kind of talking to him, and Penny, Kaylee Cuoco, was on the screen. I'm like, who is that? And then because of that, I decided to watch The Big Bang Theory, and I fell in love with Kaylee Cuoco as Penny. So that's the reason why I watched The Big Bang Theory, and I've watched every episode of the show. And of course, at the moment on my channel, I'm reviewing each and every episode of The Big Bang Theory. There are a lot of episodes, though, so I've been doing it for, give or take, about 8-9 months. And I'm almost done with Season 5, so I still got a lot of ways to go, but it's definitely one of my top 10 favorite shows of all time, and I love it. I suggest that you watch The Big Bang Theory. If I did a poll of everybody that ends up watching this video of their top 5 favorite TV shows of all time, I'm pretty confident that the most votes for a show will be this show. Breaking Bad Season 1 Blu-ray, Breaking Bad Season 2 Blu-ray, Breaking Bad Season 3 Blu-ray. Breaking Bad Season 4 Blu-ray. I love that season. Breaking Bad Season 5A Blu-ray. And Breaking Bad Season 5B Blu-ray. A lot of people think this is Season 6. It's actually Season 5 with 2 different parts because they had a year in between the mid-season finale and the series finale of the show. Breaking Bad is one of the most perfect TV shows out there. Now, it's not my favorite show of all time. Sometimes I wonder, should it be? But there's just a couple other shows that I like a lot more, even though Breaking Bad is almost as good as it gets as far as a TV show goes. It's phenomenal. If you have not watched Breaking Bad yet, I highly suggest that you do watch Breaking Bad, unless some stuff, some issues get to you too easily, but it's a phenomenal show. Reasons why I started to watch Breaking Bad. There were 2 people that had a lot to do with that. I had a seasonal job at a cell phone kiosk just to get extra income, and it made pretty good commission during the holidays. And for some reason, the district manager decided to come into the kiosk one day when I was working all alone by myself and just wanted to see how I worked because he knew it was my second job, but he knew I managed a kiosk by Sprint previous to that. So he came in to see how I did and like, wow, you do this pretty good. Have you ever thought about coming on here full time? But he started talking about a TV show called Breaking Bad and kind of clued me in on what happens on Breaking Bad without spoiling anything. And it sounded pretty fucking phenomenal. Now, flash forward about a month later, I was at my regular job and a new employee started. Her name is Becca, and she was really pretty, and she still is really pretty. And this is back in 2013. No, that's not right. This is the end of 2012. Becca would always talking about Breaking Bad. So to have more conversations with her, I finally decided to start watching Breaking Bad. I absolutely loved it. The funny thing is, the more I watch Breaking Bad, the more I like it. So the first time I watched it, it was good, but it wasn't incredible. But I appreciate it even more and more because of Becca and Matt, the DM at the cell phone kiosk. So that's why I put Breaking Bad. I bought all the seasons because it's such a phenomenal show. And you must watch it if you haven't. Cobra Kai Season 1 and 2 on DVD. Now, I would prefer the Blu-ray, but I haven't seen it available because it's available in high quality on Netflix. And I don't know if they'll ever release it on Blu-ray until the series is over with. Now, the reason why I started watching Cobra Kai, and it wasn't right away, I have a friend at a job, his name is Greg, and he would talk about watching Cobra Kai on YouTube and saying it's pretty good. It's awesome. It follows, Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, years later after the events of Karate Kid. And I don't know how long it took me to watch it, but one day, I think it was during like my vacation, like my winter vacation, I was bored and I just started watching Cobra Kai. It was hard to stop watching it. I think the good thing about the show is the episodes are typically about 30 minutes long, and so I can get into them more and not get as bored, and I really like the show. I think I actually like Cobra Kai more than the actual Karate Kid movie. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I just tried to rewatch the Karate Kid a few weeks ago, the original, and I was kind of bored of it. So, I don't know. I really like Cobra Kai. It's awesome. As far as adding more seasons to it, I haven't seen any of the other seasons available. I would prefer, obviously, to have them on Blu-ray. But if I can find it cheap, like this was only, not that I buy things cheap, but I found this was in a bin at Walmart for $4.99. 2 seasons of Cobra Kai for $4.99. You can't beat that price, so I had to pick it up. It's an awesome show, especially if you like the Karate Kid movies. Any one of them, they haven't touched upon the next Karate Kid or the remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, but who knows, maybe they will at some point. But Cobra Kai is definitely a show that you might want to watch if you're looking for a show to get invested in. It's time for our first new addition to this TV show Blu-ray and DVD collection video, and honestly, it's a show that I never thought I would watch, let alone buy all the seasons of, but I'm currently watching it right now. Well, not right now because I'm recording this video right now, but in my spare time, I'm watching it right now. I haven't finished it yet, but I absolutely love it, and that would be Desperate Housewives Season 1 DVD. Yeah, Desperate Housewives. Desperate Housewives Season 2 DVD. Desperate Housewives Season 3 DVD. Desperate Housewives Season 4 DVD. Desperate Housewives Season 5 DVD. Desperate Housewives Season 6 DVD. Desperate Housewives Season 7 DVD. And Desperate Housewives Season 8, apparently the final season, on DVD. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised. The reason why I'm watching Desperate Housewives, I have a friend named Michelle, and I was trying to convince her to watch Dexter, the original run of Dexter, or Lost on Amazon Prime. And she's like, I've tried watching Dexter before, and I've got pretty far into it, like season 3. I just stopped watching it because I broke up with the boyfriend that I was dating. You know, I'm a big fan of Dexter. We'll find that out very shortly here if you didn't know already. And I was trying to get her to watch that or Lost because I talked about how great Lost was. It's got a bunch of different things that happen in it, despite some of your criticisms. And then she's like, well, right now I'm busy watching Desperate Housewives. And we have a mutual friend that she used to date named Casey, and she said that Casey used to watch it with her, and he loved it. So, on a whim, I just decided to watch the first episode of Desperate Housewives on Amazon Prime, and I actually really enjoyed it. It kind of reminds me of a more PG Melrose Place, and pretty soon we'll talk about Melrose Place, because that, at one point, was my favorite TV show of all time. Well, because I didn't really watch that many TV shows. But yeah, I love Desperate Housewives. It's a lot of fun. I'm right now on Season 3, Episode 6, and I'm enjoying it. It has some mystery to it. It has some drama. It has some comedy. Not a lot of action. Not much action at all, but it's a good show. And I actually, at the moment, am really liking it, and I would definitely recommend it. So thank you, Michelle, for getting me into Desperate Housewives. And, of course, I bought all the DVDs because I was tired of the fucking ads that would play on Amazon Prime trying to watch it. It's one of those shows that you have to watch the ads even though if you're paying for Prime. So yeah, thank you, Michelle. Desperate Housewives. Check it out. It's time to talk about one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Dexter Season 1 Blu-ray. Dexter Season 2 Blu-ray. Dexter Season 3 Blu-ray. Dexter Season 4 Blu-ray. Dexter Season 5 Blu-ray. Dexter Season 6 Blu-ray, Dexter Season 7 Blu-ray, and it sounds like the disc is rattling around in here. That's not good. I don't like that. I'm going to have to get a different case for that one. Dexter Season 8 Blu-ray, which was initially the final season of Dexter, but then years later we got Dexter New Blood, which is essentially Dexter Season 9 that takes place approximately 10 years later, with some of the same characters. So it's a show that most of you know has two, for the most part, bad endings. Now, I don't think one of them's as bad as people think it is, but it's certainly not an ending that I would write. I would do some things differently. But it's a show that nobody recommended to me. It's a show that I watched on my own. Reason why: I lost a job at the end of 2000, or not at the end, in August of 2014. Unceremoniously lost a job and needed something to keep my mind off of, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? You know, I only have so much in savings. And I started watching Dexter on Netflix. Now, I had heard about Dexter before while playing poker. One of the crazy moments of the show, people started talking about it during poker one night, but I didn't know what happened. I didn't know who it happened to. I just heard there was a crazy moment, and then I would see Facebook posts about Dexter. But not a lot of advertising for Dexter. But I started watching it myself, and while the first few episodes I didn't necessarily like, Season 2 really got me hooked. Season 3 kind of made me go, this show's kind of dumb. But then Season 4 was so amazing. Season 5 was a pretty good follow-up. Season 6 I did not like at all. Season 7 was phenomenal. Season 8 was okay. And then Dexter New Blood, it had potential, but it's an awesome show. I love the character of Dexter, and I love a lot of the characters that are also on the show. I wish somebody could take credit for recommending this awesome show to me, but honestly, I guess I have to thank Adam, one of my friends on Facebook, for making random posts about it every once in a while. That's about it. Otherwise, it was hearing about it on poker, and then just knowing the story about the main character, how he kills bad people and he has to live by this code. So if you haven't checked Dexter out, It's a good show for most of the run. They have 2 different finales. A lot of people hate both of them. I think I hate one of them. I'm not sure about the other one yet because I've only watched the episode one time. I'm about to start watching Dexter New Blood again for the second time. There's a few episodes that I've seen more than once, but I'm going to watch the whole season in full for the second time, starting possibly tomorrow. But I love the show. I love Dexter as a character, and I definitely recommend it because it has one of the craziest episodes. A few episodes that are phenomenal episodes of all time. If I had to do a top 10 favorite episodes of all time of a TV series, there would definitely be a few episodes of Dexter. So check it out if you haven't, and let me know what your thoughts are about it. Moving along here, we have Doom Patrol Season 1 Blu-ray. Nobody recommended this to me. I just started watching it on my own on HBO Max. I only watched like 3 or 4 episodes. It was entertaining. I just haven't went back to it yet, but it's worth at least finishing the first season if I ever get time to finish the first season. Fear the Walking Dead Season 1 Blu-ray. Fear the Walking Dead Season 2 Blu-ray. Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 Blu-ray. Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 Blu-ray. And Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 Blu-ray. Now, I haven't bought Season 6 on Blu-ray yet, and I don't know if Season 7 has come out on Blu-ray. I've almost watched all the episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. The second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, I stopped watching until the end, so I didn't watch the mid-season premiere, and I watched the finale because I know some things that happened that I really wanted to see. But Fear the Walking Dead is a show that's not very good, but it has some good seasons. I think Season 3 and Season 6 are pretty solid. Nobody recommended it to me. I'm just a fan of The Walking Dead, so I obviously went to Fear the Walking Dead. And I guess if anybody wants to take credit for my watching of Fear the Walking Dead, it would be the Walking Dead channel, mainly Trev's Chan too. He has a little bit of credit for getting me to continue to watch Fear the Walking Dead because he kept watching it when at some points I'm like, God, I don't like this show. Because there would be times where I wouldn't watch like 10 episodes and then I'd binge watch those 10 episodes. So I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend Fear the Walking Dead, but if you want to check it out and let me know what your thoughts are. The Following Season 1 Blu-ray. The Following Season 2 Blu-ray. And The Following Season 3 Blu-ray. This was a show that I watched when it aired on Fox, and then I rewatched it on Netflix about a year later. Nobody recommended the show to me. I just thought it was an interesting premise, and the writer of the show is Kevin Williamson, who is behind, well, mainly Scream, but did other things as well. It's about a serial killer that escapes death row and gets out and about. Well, he's eventually captured by the main character, Kevin Bacon, and when he's in jail, his followers start to commit crimes, and it's just kind of a cat and mouse story. I don't want to go too much into details. Season 3 is its final season, and unfortunately, it was canceled. It was planned to go on further than that, but I think it was definitely a good and underrated show, and I would recommend, if you have nothing else to watch, to check it out. I think certainly it's worth a watch, especially because it's only 3 seasons, so check out The Following. Friends, Seasons 1 through 10 on Blu-ray. I've actually only watched the first episode of Friends. It's a show that's been recommended to me by a coworker of mine, Keely. I just don't have a lot of time to watch shows that were on network television that are a lot of episodes per season. I like 10 to 12. When it gets to 24 or more, that's really hard to go through. Although I am watching Desperate Housewives, which has 24 episodes. But Friends, maybe someday I'll watch it. I just don't necessarily like sitcoms, except for Big Bang Theory. But I think Friends is obviously, you know if it's good or not. Let me know if I should continue at some point to watch Friends. But I own it in case the time ever comes where I need to watch it. Game of Thrones Season 1 Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 2 Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 3 Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 4 Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 5 Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 6 Blu-ray, and I took the cover thing that slips on and off there just because it kept slipping off my pile. Game of Thrones Season 7. I believe, is this Blu-ray or is this 4K? Blu-ray. And then Game of Thrones Season 8 on 4K and Blu-ray. So Game of Thrones, I think, is certainly an amazing show. Despite its flaws toward the end, it's still one of my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. As far as who got me to watch Game of Thrones, well, there was a lot of people involved with this one. Initially, the YouTube channel that covers The Walking Dead mostly, Trev's Chan 2, did a ranking of the top 10 hottest chicks on Game of Thrones. I just so happened to watch, and I'd randomly listen to his Game of Thrones review videos, even though I wasn't watching this show. And I remember him saying, best episode of any TV series I've ever seen. I'm like, wait a minute, Trev, The Walking Dead? So that got me, my interest peaked. And then at one point in time, I had a supervisor named Stacy that would swear by Game of Thrones. And then I had a coworker at the same job on the same team with Stacy as the supervisor named Alex. And Alex absolutely loved Game of Thrones. He loved it. He'd always talk about it. It was like the greatest show on earth at one point in time. And then I also have a roommate named Matt that would lend me the discs so I could watch them until I bought them, because they were pretty expensive at the time and I didn't have HBO Max right away. So Game of Thrones is amazing. I think for the most part, there are some flaws toward the end, but I don't think they're as bad as people say they are. It's like, oh, this was the story all along and then they did this. I kind of like what they did at certain points of Game of Thrones. So I don't know. If you want to check it out, just be wary that the ending sometimes divides the fans. I, for the most part, not all of it, but I, for the most part, enjoy the ending of Game of Thrones. Homeland Season 2 on Blu-ray. Homeland Season 3 on Blu-ray. Homeland Season 4 on Blu-ray. Homeland Season 5 on Blu-ray. And Homeland Season 6 on Blu-ray. So I haven't bought the entire series yet, and I haven't watched the entire series. I don't know how many more seasons they had. I think they did 2 more seasons. And I don't have Season 1 anymore. Somebody, the person that recommended Friends to me, named Keely, hasn't given it back, and she's had it since before the pandemic started. So Keely, don't forget that you still have my Homeland Season 1 on Blu-ray. Honestly, I only really was interested in the first 3 seasons of Homeland, and then I think I watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of Season 4, and I just wasn't really liking it all that much. But hey, who knows? Maybe it gets better. I don't know. But Homeland, the first 3 seasons, was pretty awesome, and I would recommend the show based off of the first 3 seasons. I guess I should mention that Homeland was a show that nobody recommended to me. I would always see it at Best Buy when they actually had a large physical media section, and I would always read the back of it and then kind of do like read-ups on IMDb about it, and it seemed rather intriguing to me. So eventually I decided to start watching it, at least the first 3 seasons, and then Season 4, it lost me. I might go back to it, but I'm not sure. But if you want to check out a good show, at least for the first 3 seasons, Homeland is certainly good. And it's a story that kind of wraps up after Season 3 and then starts something else. So you might not even need to watch anymore if you just want to see a good solid 3 seasons of a television show. Limitless, Season 1 on DVD. Unfortunately, that show was canceled after the first season. Nobody recommended it to me. I started watching it because I was a fan of the movie Limitless from 2011 with Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro, and I really enjoyed it a lot. This TV show was pretty good, not as good as the movie, but like I said, it was canceled. I saw it at Best Buy all the time, and I didn't really want to buy it right away because it wasn't on Blu-ray, but I ended up buying it on DVD and watched it over again. I did like it, but I don't know if I'd recommend it simply because the network canceled the show because the ratings weren't very good. Lost, Season 1, Blu-ray. Lost, Season 2, Blu-ray. Lost, Season 3, Blu-ray. Lost, Season 4, Blu-ray. Lost, Season 5 on Blu-ray. And Lost, Season 6 on Blu-ray. Lost is an amazing show, in my opinion. It's one of my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. I think it's phenomenal. I'm a little annoyed that it was on network television, so you have so many episodes, typically like 24, for most this season, so it is hard to get through. And I know that a lot of people out there are going to complain about Lost and say it's one of the worst endings in TV show history. There's a lot of misconceptions about the ending of Lost. There's some dialogue that's in the finale that explains some things because some people don't understand what happened. If you don't get what was said, then you're going to hate the episode. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite series finales of all time, but many people say it's one of their least favorite finales of all time, like some of the Dexter finales that are out there. But despite that, I still love the show. It's a show that I covered here on the channel, and I think I'm going to cover it again because that was when I didn't have as good quality. Not that my quality is anything to write home about, but I love Lost, and I think it's a show that I want to watch again. So check it out if you haven't yet. It's a long watch, but it's definitely worth it if you understand what happens at the end. And even if you don't understand what happens at the end, it has a bunch of amazing characters that are on the show. Here's another new addition to the collection. Lucifer Season 1 on Blu-ray. Lucifer Season 2 on Blu-ray. Lucifer Season 3 on Blu-ray. Lucifer Season 4 on Blu-ray. Lucifer Season 5 on Blu-ray. And Lucifer Season 6, the final season, on Blu-ray. I've watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Lucifer, and I am going to be covering Lucifer on this channel after I'm finished with all the Dexter content that I'm going to do, which should wrap up in February or possibly before. I enjoyed what I've seen of Lucifer thus far. Reasons why I'm watching Lucifer: a lot of YouTube channels do live reactions to watching Lucifer for the first time, and I have a fan on the channel that loves my Dexter content that also is a huge fan of Lucifer. And to keep him happy for watching all my Dexter videos, I need to watch Lucifer as well. So Richard or Crazy Kofaman, if you're watching this video, I'm definitely watching it for you, and I definitely will finish and cover the show for you on this channel. But what I've seen so far, I like Lucifer, and based on what I've seen, you should definitely check it out. Magic City Season 1 and 2, the complete series, on Blu-ray. I've actually never watched Magic City yet. It was recommended to me by a roommate that I've talked about previously, Jamar, who recommended The 100. It has Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it, and I really like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I just haven't had the time to even check out one episode. Melrose Place Season 1 DVD. Melrose Place Season 2 DVD. Melrose Place Season 3 DVD. Melrose Place Season 4 DVD. Melrose Place Season 5 Volume 1 DVD. I hate when they split the seasons up like Breaking Bad did. Melrose Place Season 5 Volume 2 DVD. Melrose Place Season 6 Volume 1 DVD. Melrose Place Season 6 Volume 2 DVD. Finally, Melrose Place Season 7, the final season, Volume 1 on DVD. And then Melrose Place Season 7 Volume 2 on DVD. So I mentioned before that Melrose Place was actually my favorite TV show of all time at one point. And the reason why I watched Melrose Place is because I was watching Beverly Hills 90210, and then they kind of brought in Melrose Place with 90210. So because the story from 90210 went into Melrose Place, I had to watch this Melrose Place show. And then I realized I actually liked Melrose Place much more because it was much more crazier and much more exciting versus 90210 that was very boring at times, in my opinion. Orphan Black Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the complete series on Blu-ray. I like Orphan Black. It's a fun show to watch. It's a little hard to understand at times what happens in Orphan Black to a degree. The show was recommended to me by a roommate named Matt, and he actually gave me the Blu-rays to watch when I didn't own it. And I watched all of it just one time. I don't remember a lot about what happens in what season, but I think it's worth watching. It was a show that was on BBC America, and it has the actress that Tatiana something, whatever her name is, that played in She-Hulk, although not a lot of you out there seem to like She-Hulk, which I've never watched yet. I don't know if I'll even watch it because I don't really like the Marvel TV shows. Actually, I haven't even gave them a chance yet. I just don't like the concept of having to watch a TV show. I'll just watch the movies, and if I have to fill in clues of what happened, well, maybe I'll watch the TV shows. But Orphan Black is definitely a fun show. It has some exciting moments, and I would definitely check it out if you have the time. Saved by the Bell, Seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. Saved by the Bell, The College Years on DVD. And Saved by the Bell, we have The Wedding in Las Vegas and The Hawaiian Style on DVD. So I talked about Melrose Place being my favorite TV show of all time. Well, at one point, Saved by the Bell was probably my number 2 favorite TV show of all time. My life was very boring. Like Melrose Place, I kind of lived vicariously through some of these characters. Like events that happened to them, I kind of thought happened to me, even though they didn't. But I absolutely love Tiffany Thiessen from Saved by the Bell. I've met her before. She's absolutely beautiful. I liked Mark Paul Gosselaar on Saved by the Bell. As far as why I watched the show, because it was on all the time. Nobody recommended it to me except the TV stations, because it was on TBS and NBC and I think one other channel. So Saved by the Bell is definitely a show that I would check out. I don't know if I'd watch it again, though, and I don't own all of it yet, but I think someday I'll finish, because I'm a completionist, I'll finish getting that entire series. Shameless, Season 1, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 2, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 3, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 4, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 5, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 6, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 7, Blu-ray. I'm just looking at these, and these have really cool covers for some of them. Shameless, Season 8, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 9, Blu-ray. Shameless, Season 10, DVD. And Shameless, Season 11, the final season, on DVD. It's a show that I watched right before the final season of Shameless. I binged it all the way at the end of 2020 to get caught up for the finale that took place in 2022. I think a lot of the seasons were really good towards the beginning, and then as the show continued to go on, it didn't get as good. It got lamer and lamer and lamer, with obviously a couple few good moments here and there to keep me vested in continuing to watch the show. I think the finale is one of the worst finales of all time, in my opinion. A show we're about to talk about pretty soon here might be in competition for the worst finale of all time, in my opinion. But Shameless had some great moments. It had Emmy Rossum as Fiona Gallagher on it, and she is absolutely hot. And, well, it's a plus. She gets naked a lot in the show, which is always something that I like to see. The show was recommended to me by the roommate that recommended The 100 and recommended Magic City, Jamar. He was a big fan of Shameless. He'd always be watching it, and I'd watch episodes with him, but obviously wouldn't be caught up to where he was. I'd be watching Season 8 when I haven't seen any episodes before that. So I finally decided to watch it on my own, and I really liked the show, and I became a bigger fan of the show than he was. And it's definitely a show that I would suggest watching, although towards the end it definitely does tail off. But Shameless is awesome, and I hate the fact that they didn't release Season 10 and Season 11 on Blu-ray yet. It might have been released in a complete series, which I haven't even looked into yet because I already own all the seasons, and I hate those seasons, so why spend more money on buying them? But I do own Shameless, and I do like it. The Shield. How many seasons of this? I don't even remember how many seasons this is. There's a complete box set. I think The Shield is 7 seasons long. This is an awesome show and an awesome set, in my opinion. If you look at this, it has like a badge in here. And then, you know, you have these sets where you open it up and there's a bunch of discs in there and they just come falling out right away. Well, this has it really organized and really cool, like in a book. And sorry if you guys, I'm moving around too much, but if you see here, it's got like that and so forth. So it's really organized, and I really like that. But aside from how the presentation of the box set goes, let me just double check something. How many seasons of this? I think it's 7 seasons, but I want to make sure I'm right. Is it going to tell me here? Yes, 7 seasons. I was right. I just want to make sure on that. This show was recommended to me by a friend of mine, Donnie. He would always talk about The Shield. It's his favorite TV show of all time, although he might be on Game of Thrones now. He's watched Game of Thrones quite a bit, but The Shield is definitely, if it's not number 1, it's number 2. He loves the performance of Vic Mackey, played by Michael Chiklis, on the show. It's a cop show about dirty cops that sometimes like to compartmentalize. Bad shit's happening, and they put that bad shit away and just focus on what they need to do. It deals with a lot of issues that other TV shows hadn't dealt with at the time, and it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I've only watched the show all the way through one time. I really should put emphasis on watching the show again, and I actually started to watch the show again and do reviews of it on the channel. I wasn't really into it at the moment, but I know the first season's not the best. I mean, it's good, but it's not as entertaining as the later seasons. And the reviews that I was doing were getting like 5 views. No matter what I put as a thumbnail, no matter what I put as a a hashtag or a tagline on there. So I just kind of fell off on it. But maybe, just maybe, someday I'll revisit Shield. And I'm pretty sure I'll revisit The Shield. But it's definitely a show that's in my top 10 favorite TV shows, or top 20 favorite TV shows of all time. The Sinner. Season 1 on Blu-ray. The Sinner is an awesome show. The first episode of the show is absolutely amazing. It's a show that my ex, Kim, had recommended to me, and I liked it. Now, I didn't finish watching the other seasons of it. I watched a few episodes of Season 2 and never watched any episodes after that. I don't know if I'm ever going to revisit it again, simply because there's just not enough time in the day to watch all these TV shows. But maybe someday, when I have a lot of free time, when I'm like retired, I'll get around to it. But the first episode of the first season is amazing, and the story of the first season is really good. I loved it, and I definitely would recommend at least the first season of The Sinner. Haven't seen the rest of it to really comment on it. A couple episodes in season 2. Other than that, that's it. All the seasons of The Sopranos on Blu-ray. I don't even remember how many seasons were on The Sopranos. So it's 6 seasons of The Sopranos. I watched the entire first season, and I liked it. And I watched, I believe, the first 4 episodes of the second season, and then I stopped watching it. Not because it was bad, I just got sidetracked. I think that was when Game of Thrones was coming out, and I wanted to get caught up on Game of Thrones, so I put emphasis on getting through Game of Thrones versus The Sopranos. And I do need to go back to The Sopranos because I know it's one of the most popular TV shows of all time, and eventually someday I will get to it. As far as who recommended it to me, well, nobody really specifically has recommended it to me. I just kind of watched it myself, but my friend Michelle that loved Desperate Housewives recommended that to me. Her favorite TV show of all time is The Sopranos, so maybe I watched it because she really liked it, but apparently I didn't like it as much as her because I stopped watching after a few episodes in season 2. The Strain, season 1 DVD. The Strain, season 2 Blu-ray. The Strain, season 3 DVD. And The Strain, the final season, season 4 on DVD. This is a very good and underrated show. I absolutely loved it. The premise is you have vampires, you have these worm things, or God, what is it? Bug thing? It's been a while since I watched it. I'm trying to remember details of the show, but they get inside you, and then you eventually turn into those things that were in Blade 2. And it has some really good characters on the show. And the series ends when it was supposed to end. I mean, they told them, hey, this will be your final season, so make a really good final season. I think the finale of The Strain is pretty good. Not one of the best of all time, but definitely towards the best of all time. And the reason why I started watching that show, Travis Chan too, covered Game of Thrones, covered Walking Dead, and he also covered The Strain. That was one of the reasons. And then my ex that recommended The Sinner, Kim, she also told me to watch The Strain, and I did end up watching it, and I did end up liking it. It's definitely one of my top 20 favorite TV shows of all time. So if you get a chance and you want a show that not a lot of people know about, I definitely recommend The Strain. Stranger Things, Season 1 on Blu-ray, even though it looks like VHS, and Stranger Things, Season 2 on Blu-ray, even though it looks like VHS. So Stranger Things is an amazing show. I would own all the seasons if I could find them available. I hear season 3 might be out somewhere, but I haven't found it. Maybe I just haven't looked out of my way to find it yet. But I think Stranger Things is definitely an amazing show. All the seasons are really good. The season 4 that just came out might have been the best season of Stranger Things, and it had some crazy episodes in Stranger Things season 4. It's a show that I really can't say that much more about because I don't want to spoil anything. I love it. It's definitely in my top 20 favorite TV shows of all time. I think it's in the top 10 right now, but sometimes that, Cobra Kai, and Shameless switch places all the time. As far as who got me to watch that, well, really my office at work, when I worked in the office, would talk. There's a couple people that would talk about it. You know, I didn't hear any spoilers or anything like that, but they would just say it's a show with a lot of 80s nostalgia, and it's like kids from Stand By Me, and you know, they play Dungeons and Dragons and all that, but it's a great show. I guess I would give Matt and Katie credit for talking about it and me hearing about it to finally deciding to watch it. And maybe I should do review videos of each episode of Stranger Things. And I wanted to, but as I was reviewing, like I started to do it, but I never posted it because as I was reviewing it, I was having to pause it a lot and like trying to remember what was said and where this place was and that. I guess I might not be an expert when it comes to Stranger Things yet, but someday I'll get there. But I definitely recommend watching it if you haven't yet. True Blood, Season 1 on Blu-ray. True Blood, Season 2 on Blu-ray. True Blood, Season 3 on Blu-ray. True Blood, Season 4 on Blu-ray. Whoa. True Blood, Season 5 on Blu-ray. True Blood, Season 6 on Blu-ray. And True Blood, Season 7, the final season, on Blu-ray. So True Blood was a pretty good show at times. It pushed the envelope because it was a show that was on HBO. The show was recommended to me by Donnie, who actually had the seasons and borrowed them to me because I didn't have HBO Max at the time. I'm trying to remember why I started watching that because I went from The Shield to True Blood. He was a big fan of The Shield, and then he had said, I got this True Blood show. And I was always intrigued when I saw True Blood at Best Buy in their physical media section when they actually had one. And like, I would probably like that show. And I do for the most part, but it has some stupid things that happen on the show. The quality of the show, especially the final season. Talk about bad seasons of a TV show. People say Game of Thrones Season 8 is one of the worst seasons ever. True Blood, from what I remember, and it's been a while since I watched it, True Blood Season 8 is 100 times worse. Or no, True Blood Season 7 is 100 times worse than Game of Thrones Season 8, in my opinion. And I definitely would recommend watching it, though, because it has some compelling characters on it. Some characters, unfortunately, that the actor or actress has passed away that were memorable as hell. And it's like, damn, they're gone. I hope the show eventually comes back someday, because I think they could fix some things that happened and try to have a better ending. Now, I mentioned that Shameless has one of the worst endings of a TV show out there. From what I remembered, it's been a while since I watched the finale and barely remember what happens, but I remember the True Blood series finale being absolutely terrible. Again, I don't remember anything that happened in it now because I only watched the show once all the way through. I started rewatching it a few years ago for the channel, but stopped during season 3 because the videos just weren't doing good. And that's typically not what I do. I don't care how many views things gets, but I was just not as into it as I usually am. So I would check out True Blood, though, if you want to watch some good seasons of television and some terrible seasons of television. We're almost done. The Walking Dead Season 1 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 2 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 3 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 4 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 5 on Blu-ray, and that's my favorite cover of any season of The Walking Dead thus far. The Walking Dead Season 6 on Blu-ray, my favorite season. The Walking Dead Season 7 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 8 on Blu-ray. The Walking Dead Season 9 on Blu-ray. And The Walking Dead Season 10 on Blu-ray. And of course, once The Walking Dead Season 11 comes out on Blu-ray or 4K, I will be buying that, as that would be the final season of The Walking Dead. And I think The Walking Dead had one of the most satisfying series finales I've ever seen. It rivals Breaking Bad. I don't know what's better yet. I'm still trying to process that. Who got me to watch The Walking Dead? Well, actually, surprisingly, no one in particular got me to watch that show, as it is my favorite TV series of all time currently. It's a show I heard a lot about on Facebook. There would be lots of Facebook posts, but nobody specifically reaching out to me telling me to watch this show, and I just started watching it. Now, honestly, I started watching it in season 2, and the first few episodes I watched weren't anything that special, but I kept watching The Walking Dead, and I never stopped watching it. So if you haven't watched The Walking Dead, or you stopped watching after season 7, episode 1, I would recommend that you continue or get caught up on The Walking Dead, because I think it's a phenomenal show. And like I mentioned, I think the series finale of the show is pretty fucking satisfying, if you ask me. But hey, it's my opinion. The complete series of The Wire. I don't even know how many seasons The Wire is, to be honest with you. It looks like The Wire is 5 seasons. This was another show recommended to me by Jamar. And while I watched him watch a few episodes of the show, I never sat down and watched it on my own. I hear it's an amazing show. I just haven't had the time to get fully invested into it. Again, I hear a lot of good things. Again, I just didn't have the time, but it's certainly something that is on my radar, and maybe one of these days I'll get around to watching The Wire. But thank you to Jamar for your great recommendations. The 100, Shameless, and other shows that you've recommended. Yellowjackets, Season 1 on Blu-ray. Now, this was a pretty good show. I liked it. Of course, so far we only have Season 1. I believe Season 2 is filming right now, or they're in pre-production. The reason why I watched this show was nobody in particular. It was because I was watching Dexter New Blood on the Showtime Amazon Prime channel, and they would advertise Yellowjackets. Now, if you haven't heard of Yellowjackets before, without spoiling a lot of stuff, it's kind of similar to Lost. You have this group of high school soccer, this girls' soccer team that's going to travel to this soccer game, and their plane crashes in the mountains, and they have to survive in the mountains / wildlife, and they're there for a long time. But then they do flash forwards of like 20, is it 20 years? I believe, yeah, 20 years, where some of the characters are still alive, and we don't know what happened to some of the other characters that were on that girls' soccer team. But it has a pretty good cast and some pretty crazy events. I've only watched it all the way through one time. I've recommended it to a bunch of people, though, and the ones that have watched it have actually liked it. So if you haven't checked out Yellowjackets yet, I'm guessing there'll be a Season 2 at some point next year, probably in the spring or early summer, I think. I don't know for sure. You might want to check it out, especially if you're a fan of Lost, and it's not as many episodes as Lost, but I think there are definitely some good performances in the show, and thank you to Showtime for doing Dexter again and then recommending another show, advertising the shit out of it, so I would check it out and kind of liked. Young Sheldon, Season 1 on Blu-ray, and our last Blu-ray, Young Sheldon, Season 2 on Blu-ray. I haven't watched any episode of Young Sheldon since the Season 2 premiere, so I'm quite behind on Young Sheldon. I was a fan of The Big Bang Theory eventually, so that's why I started watching Young Sheldon. Nobody told me to watch it. I watched it on my own. I watched the premiere of the show when it aired, and I think it was a really good show, actually. It's sitcoms. I don't tend to really get that invested in sitcoms. I know for sure at some point I will watch the entire series. I will buy the entire series. But at the moment, I have yet to do so. But I think it's a pretty funny show. I think the kid that they casted to be Sheldon was really good. His name is escaping me at the moment, but it's pretty good. So, that's it, everyone. That is your 2022 TV show, Blu-ray, and DVD collection. I guess I have a 4K in there too, the Game of Thrones Season 8. I never even realized I had that on 4K until recently, because I never rewatched that. I always rewatched it on HBO Max. So I fooled myself there. So what'd you think? I added a few new things to this video, but not a lot. I have all the seasons of Desperate Housewives. I have all the seasons of Lucifer. And I have all the seasons of Better Call Saul. And then I also added Dexter New Blood and Yellowjackets. So not a lot, but hey, it was something added to it. I'll do my best to add more to this video for next year whenever I do this video in late 2023. Let me know if there's a show that I should watch that you strongly think that I would like this show. Another show that I'm interested in, and usually when I'm interested in a show, I just buy it right away. Everything I can get my hands on, and that would be Justified. It's a show that Cody Leach, the YouTube channel of Cody Leach, who recommended Banshee, he talked a lot about Justified to me personally, and I think I would watch it. I just haven't found it yet. I'm going to go on bestbuy.com after this video's over and see if it's on there. It might not be, though, because I've been having some pretty good deals on some physical media as of late. So, again, what'd you think? If you're a fan of physical media and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure you smash that like button. Share this video with anybody that you know, or put this video on any one of your preferred social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are. What are some of the favorite shows that I have that you watch? What are some of your least favorite shows that I have that you don't like? What shows would you recommend, or anything else that you want to talk about? And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.